The subtitle of Rafidah Aziz's memoirs is Malaysian First. At first glance, it's a simple and beautiful idea. If you're Malaysian, your first loyalty is to Malaysia. Negaraku, tanah tumpahnya darahku, daulat tuanku. It's a fine, simple, and easy to understand idea. But it seems things are never as simple as we think that they will be. Because in Malaysia Negara Tercinta, apparently, we are Palestine first. There's no question that Malaysia's formal diplomatic position is that we advocate for the two-state solution with pre-1967 borders and encourage the acceptance of Palestine into the UN. And some people therefore think if you oppose anything related to Palestine, then you are going against Malaysia. You might as well not be Malaysian. Fact of the matter is though,
not all forms of support are created equal.
Most of you know about Malaysia's woke 120 million ringgit Wakaf city project that serves no purpose in the middle of an uncertain ceasefire and is not urgent.
And Malaysians of all races and religions, including a growing number of Malays and Muslims, are starting to question. But if you think you're special and we should not be Malaysian first, let me know why in the comments.
But the Malaysian government is going out there guilt-tripping people who criticize it.
As an example,
for the crime of suggesting that the Malaysian government used the finite and very limited amount of money available in our beautiful yet indebted nation to serve Malaysians and to serve Malaysians first and foremost, Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz found herself in the middle of an inquisition. Do you know this is the worst catastrophe ever since World War II? Do you have no heart? We cannot afford to be isolationists.
Notwithstanding the fact that she is Muslim and there's nothing here that actually says she opposes supporting Palestine, by the way. But whatever it is.
They say this all the while saying, you know what? The government can handle both things at the same time, so shut your trap and stop criticizing.
Except, it cannot.
A group of pensioners, including former servicemen, are planning a mammoth gathering in April to protest against the government's decision to challenge a high court order to revise and backdate their pensions. The group's spokesman, Rafiq Ahmad Nordin, said they aim to get 10,000 pensioners and veterans to demand that the government implement the court order. He said the rally is tentatively set for April 18. The controversy began when a High Court judge ruled on January 16th that pensioners were entitled to adjusted pensions based on a 2016 circular ordering the government to pay these within 3 months. Despite their efforts, the pensioners have not received any response from Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim regarding a request for a meeting and are further disheartened by the Attorney General's chambers appealing the court's decision. Rafiq said the group was also upset that the government had no issue in backdating the pensions for retired judges, which they were informed ranged from 200,000 ringgit to 400,000 ringgit.
Yup, that's right.
Old people who would normally just be hanging out, playing golf, drinking tea in a dim sum shop or something. Yeah, those pensioners are going down to Dataran Merdeka precisely because you cannot handle it. It might have just been a single paragraph in Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz's status, but
I think she really hit the nail on the head here. But yeah, let's break it down.
Basically what happened was that while the Malaysian government was gallivanting out there talking about social justice, it was delaying paying pensions to ex-civil servants. This means,
according to the Malaysian constitution,
teachers, police officers from PDRM, the military, and everybody else out there. The story is that once upon a time, if you were a civil servant, you served the government faithfully for the required number of years. Then you get a pension that adjusts with the salary grade of your position after you hit retirement. At some point, the government decided, you know what, let's be smart and then adjust that to 2% increase every single year. It'll help you get more stable increases in your pension. See, the problem with that is inflation is a thing. Every single year, things increase in price. One COVID pandemic later, price increase, price increase, price increase, and suddenly before you know it, your stable government pension has basically become worthless. You can't afford anything anymore, and now you face this from the government who is just casually trying to avoid the issue while pretending to be a hero of justice.
A bit of nuance, by the way. Read this if you have time.
There are 900,000 people out there who have been facing this ceaseless malingering and Malaysia-last behavior. Obviously feeling shortchanged, Aminah Ahmad sues the government, loses at first. June 27, 2023, the court says, look, you can't be giving people lowered pensions. Go back to the old salary scheme. Only after 6 whole years after Aminah Ahmad brought the case to the court for the first time. But guess what? The Malaysian government ignores this for 6 whole months. The High Court orders them to pay on January 16. So okay, fine. You're like, whoa. Okay lah, problem settled lah. But you know what they do? Just barely 1 week later,
government files an appeal.
And what appeal means is that they get to not pay you for 3 months, hope and pray that the court will finally say, you know what, screw these pensioners, they don't matter, you're the government, you can do whatever it is that you want. Good job, Malaysian government.
If you serve the government of Malaysia in any way,
this is money that you deserve. You earned it by serving as our police, our teachers, our military and civil service over all the years. Berkhidmat untuk negara. I thank you for that. And the government better damn well do as well. If the government is not dealing with something as urgent as this, then it raises questions of what actually is urgent to the Malaysian government. Is it urgent to give aid to Palestine? Build hospitals, schools?
Do every single part of this with an
unexplained funding source? Potential cost overrun, don't explain where the money is coming from.
Cause our government is
It's refusing to give you money that it legally owes to you, and it's going out there and challenging that in court, while at the same time going out there screaming, we can save the world. Wow. You don't have the right to say you can save the world when you can't even save yourself and you cannot save us. You say you can handle Palestine, your foreign affairs, investments, and everything else, but in reality, you can only delay. If it were true that foreign and domestic priorities are not in a zero-sum competition, then you would have paid the retirees and paid them what you owe them. Not risk a protest that shows cold, hard proof that the Malaysian government does not care about its people and cares only about Palestine. No need to talk about Malaysia or about rice or electricity tariffs for the maha kaya that will obviously be passed down to the people. You cannot even serve the people in your own government. And if you're a supporter of this government, or maybe you're young now, you're like, alahai, not my business lah. It's just old people lah, I care what care. Well, if it treats them like this now, when it eventually comes to your turn, they are going to chew you up and throw you away. It's a government that cannot do simple and basic things to care about the needs of the people really fit to talk about social justice when it cannot do justice to its own employees, the people that are working for it on a day-to-day basis. How can you expect that it's going to do justice to the man on the street, the people who need better infrastructure, the investors, let alone to the Palestinians? Because as far as I see, right, this is not managing multiple things at once. This is handling the problem later on and making the Malaysian people an excuse for your wanting to help Palestine. The government insists that it can handle multiple commitments at once, but your actions tell a very different story. A court ruling already determined that pensioners should receive their rightful increases, yet you keep delaying the implementation. How long, Madani, can you keep on saying that, oh, we can handle it, we can save the world, we can save the universe, we cannot afford to be isolationist? The longer these delays keep going on, the more you are showing to us that you are not showing that you can actually handle all of this all at once. You are willing to ignore the members of our Perkhidmatan Awam, to which I owe huge gratitude, our civil service, police, teachers, every single hard-working government employee out there that's not being served by our government. To summarize at this point, I think that Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz was very right to say that the Malaysian government needs to focus on its people first. And while like saying, oh, Malaysians shouldn't question Palestine aid, nobody should question it, he can get backed up by Nick Nazmi, Nick Ahmad, Professor Tajuddin, Kamil Munim, any number of people out there. But this simple fact is true. What you should not contest is that you should be Malaysia first, which means that if you have a literal court case, you cannot just ignore it and say, Allah, hi, Palestine more important. Because there, you're not just putting Palestine first, you're putting Malaysians last. And however many Bodo initiatives you try to get involved in, you have no basis to claim you're on the side of justice,
or to say you're acting on behalf of all the Malaysian people.
You, Madani government, have your priorities completely turned upside down. So long as you keep delaying serving the Malaysian people and the people who work for you, the people who run the machinery of our government, who are suffering in poverty, deny your responsibility to them over and over again. If you cannot even serve your own people, no matter how much you support Palestine, it is clear you are Malaysian last. Malaysia First is not controversial. Malaysia First is not heartless. Malaysia First is expected. And if you aren't even going to serve the people of your country, then perhaps you have no business being the government of the country. Do better. Alright? Anyway, that's it, and ciao.